All right. I am actually reasonably hyped about this book that I'm reading. Knight of Knives. You can see I'm right dead center in the middle. I just finished chapter 3, so I don't know, it probably has 6 chapters, 6 or 7. Don't know yet, but I'm right in the middle. And I've liked it. I've liked it so far. I thought that maybe, a lot of people say that maybe it's kind of jarring because of the change of writing style, and really it's kind of an offshoot thing. And I can see that. I can see that for sure. To me, though, I have found it kind of refreshing. In a way, it feels a little bit like Malazan light. And I don't mean that in a way that's insulting. I mean that in a way that it seemed like there were a lot of just kind of loose pieces around, at least in my mind. These other books from the Book of the Fallen, they give you lots of pieces to work with. But it's nice that in this, they have taken some pieces, and it's really a simple kind of pathway through. And some of the pieces that they are taking, like Kellenved and Dancer, and Dasim Ultur, or whatever, they have taken some of those extra side pieces, and they're giving us something to chew on after all this time. And I might maybe I'm just saying that, and really what it is there's just a very simple story to go through, and that's great. That's great for my mind, knowing that right when I'm done this, I'm going to be going into this chunky Bone Hunters book, and I don't leave any stone unturned as far as sentences go. I do not speed read through those, so I know that that's going to be a long journey, because I don't want to speed read through anything with this, and I haven't, and I've been able to read through this quickly ish when I've had time, because I haven't had to sit and chew on a whole bunch of things, which again, I love chewing on those things, but it's been kind of refreshing. Now, I remember, and I've mentioned Critical Dragon's video about reading order, where he said this could be a first. Now, this is going to be spoilers, this video. But I agree that it could be. And in a lot of ways, it would be awesome. An awesome entry, even though it doesn't have the same highs so far as the other ones. And I'm pretty sure also the reveal about Kellenved, and this was brought up in the Discord, and I totally agree as well. The reveal about Kellenved and Dancer and their connection with the Throne of Shadow is much more. It's much stronger in Deadhouse Gates, and it would be kind of spoiled in this one. But other than that, if someone was struggling, and it was a big reveal. It was a big reveal. But what you might get in exchange for losing that, you would get some other things. You would get a smoother entry, potentially, into the series. And again, this is not me as an expert. This is me just really in the middle of this book so far. And I have recency bias like crazy. But what you would get going into this, you get some concrete sort of intrigue about the Shadow Moon and the omens. You get some undead people. You get this Oleg. I think his name was Oleg. I love this guy. I hope he's in the other ones, but maybe not. Oleg, the scholar of the Warrens. Love that. You get a lot of intrigue with Kellenved and Dancer and Dassem. Finally, you get some more about that side, and especially about this night that I think is leading to them going into the Deadhouse Gates, or they're going into Deadhouse, this original place that was here before the other places in the city. Now there wouldn't be as much known. There wouldn't be as much known to someone starting this, obviously, but you would get some of those. You would get the claws versus the talons, and you'd have to, even though you wouldn't know some of that background, you would know that there were these factions against each other. It's just, there's clearer things to hold on to. Like, I loved in Gardens of the Moon the stuff with the, how do you even call it, the possession stuff at the start, and the hounds stuff. I thought that was great. But as soon as you leave that, it really goes into all this stuff that was really hard for me to hold on to all the pieces. And it wasn't even that Gardens of the Moon was the most exciting, maybe, or the most difficult to hold on to all the pieces. Maybe just some of it wasn't the most exciting at the very start, even though there was some. I think there are some strong things that would be recognizable to a person coming into the series, and stuff to hold on to. Like these omens are super interesting. Going into this shadow realm is super interesting. Also, as it has to do with like time changes and stuff like that. There's Obo and his tower, and he seems to be from a different time. Just so much going on. And I'm actually reasonably hyped about it, even though it hasn't hit all the high notes of a lot of these other things. It feels like a solid kind of diversion in Malazan, which has been nice. Kellenved and Dancer, that they might enter the Deadhouse, I think that's awesome. If we get to see some of that, that'll be so cool. This shadow, as it seems to be kind of oozing over the town, this fog, kind of reminds me of Mistborn, kind of this fog stuff. We have the Hounds of Shadow tearing things up. I think Gardens of the Moon had an awesome introduction to the Hounds of Shadow, but this would have worked too. And I'm just excited to see them doing more stuff. We have a pretty good couple main characters in this. We have Kiska and her skills, and she wants to get this job to get off the island. We have Temper, and he has kind of a history. I still don't really especially understand what that history is, even though I know that he knows the bridge burners. It sounds like he's maybe been on Seven Cities doing this stuff. I didn't catch some of that very well. It was late at night when I read this. But I'm going to go back and maybe double check, or it'll let me know more about what's going on. But he feels like maybe he was being hunted or tracked there. Obo's Tower is cool, as it has to do with kind of this time change, or this other realm that is happening at the same time. Almost like as if, see, that's where I don't understand. Almost as if there's my house here, but concurrently it's like a multiverse version of my house, where maybe someone else would be sitting in this room, and it would be half crumbled and made of stone, and there would be like an altar right here, or something, right? Something happening at the same time. And maybe this pineapple, this golden pineapple that I allowed into my house, maybe that in another realm would be emanating something, So I don't know if it's that, where it's kind of at the same time with some of this stuff in the other realms, or if it is kind of a time travel-y thing that this Kiska is kind of walking in and out of. Very interesting. So I think even if I just get more answers about that for the Warrens, I'll be happy. I'll be happy because this I read this in a day up to halfway. I'm sure tonight I'll read the other half, and if that's all I get is some answers about that, I would be happy. We have Kiska's aunt, Agila. I'm not sure, but she's pretty cool. I like her. This stuff with Edge Dancer, I don't know who this is. I don't know if this is someone I should know about. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. We have the claws there, which I'm not totally sure if that means we're going to have, and some of these cadre mages, I don't know if that means Tayshrin is going to be here because this is before. I don't know if Lacine herself is here. The ship arrived, it was just barreling in, and now people weren't really coming off of it. So I'm not sure exactly which people we're going to see. But as looking through the Dramatis Personae a couple times as I have it, and really I maybe shouldn't have done that because I like not knowing. I don't know if I'm going to do that for Bone Hunters. I may just go right into it not knowing who I'm going to run into. That might be the way to do it. But I did it for this one, and I saw Tayshrin in the Dramatis Personae, so I think, oh, well, maybe Tayshrin is here. The Tayshrin who I thought was a girl for so long, it might be a guy. I'm still confused about that. Doesn't matter. It's kind of neat that we have these ex-bridge burners, but they're kind of a little more, a little colder than these other bridge burners. I mean, the other bridge burners stabbed someone in the back and had some coldness in Gardens of the Moon, but these ones are a little bit different as well, and I'm wondering, it sounds like they're more like ex-bridge burners, and once you're a bridge burner, you're always a bridge burner sort of thing, but it sounds like these are maybe ex-bridge burners, even though they still have the tattoos and stuff. I don't know. So it does feel like we're getting just a simple story that I'm glad about getting into. I'm sure that I will want to do this again once the next entry comes up where it's kind of okay to do this. I think that comes after Reaper's Gale. So that's 2 big chunky books to get through. But overall, even though I'm not getting all the same highs of especially these last 3 books in Book of the Fallen, I am liking it. It's not some of the massive dramatic moments, but as far as a moment that seems to be super significant, this Knight of Knives, I'm in, and I'm glad that I'm getting it here rather than waiting for after. And I haven't found it jarring with the style. I kind of find it a little bit refreshing. Like it's a big kind of, I find it as a good in-between book. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on this entry? Let me know in the comments here, or let me know on the Discord, because I've heard some things. I've heard that it's probably one of the weaker ones of ENC Esslemont's, especially. Looking forward to the other ones that will come up in the series. But it's been fun so far. It's been fun. I can at least say that. And I can at least say that it hasn't been a waste of time at all. I thought, okay, well, I got to go through this and it'll give me some extra context, but no one loves it as much. But I've actually liked it a fair bit. So there's that. And I will let you know again once I finish the book, maybe some of the extra things I found, maybe some predictions for what would happen. This is in a series, right? I don't even know. I think I remember them saying this is the start of a 6-book series. I'll have some predictions. I'll have maybe some top 5 moments or top 5 characters or top 5 revelations we get from it, and then maybe some hoping that we get some of these characters or things from into the next book. I still don't know why this book is important after Midnight Tides and not before, and why it will lead into the next one. I don't know why people put this here. I'm sure it's been mentioned, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm excited. And oh my gosh, I am so excited to get into the Bone Hunters. I have all these reasons why I think I don't even know what the Bone Hunters means. The only things I can guess is, and I've made my jokes, but honestly, I don't understand. I hope it's connected with this keeper who I've been calling the Bone Connector, but someone on Discord is like, who the heck is the Bone Connector? And we found out it's Keeper. I didn't know that was his name. I hope he's part of it. I assume the Bone Hunter thing is kind of like what Heaton was doing and the Barghast were doing in Memories of Ice. Something like that, maybe. Bone Hunter. Yeah, I wonder who we're going to be finding. Is it this certain king we're going to be finding? I have no idea what the Bone Hunters means, or even what kind of book this is going to be. I think I'm going to go into it without looking at the Dramatis Personae, and we'll just enjoy the way, however that happens. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.